I have a question for you, and I want you to be honest. How many times have you tried to learn your notes on your bass or on your guitar? How many more times do you want to have to learn them? If you've tried to memorize all the notes on the fretboard and they just don't seem to stick, then maybe it's time for a new approach. Today, we're not going to use any fretboard maps and we aren't going to play along to any click tracks or drum tracks. This is the concept of deep practice. I'm going to teach you how to think and practice in a way that feeds your brain the information that it needs to learn the most efficient way possible. Deep practice can apply to anything that you want to learn, but today we're going to use it to learn the notes on your fretboard once and for all. I'm going to take you through a simple exercise, and then I'm going to explain to you how to bring your brain on board in the most meaningful way. Let's get started. I'll be playing a 4-string bass today, but this exercise applies to the guitar just as well. The notes on these 4 strings are the same as the low strings on the guitar, and guitar players, that's what I want you to learn first anyways. Then you apply those same concepts to your B and E strings. If you haven't learned to find your notes yet, start by watching my lesson on that and you'll be good to go. It should appear right about there on the video, and I'll link it in the description as well. Our exercise today is fairly simple. We're going to play all of the available natural notes on your instrument, A through G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, those are our natural notes, from frets 0 to 12. We can think of this as the set of notes from the key of C, or the C major scale. The reason I stop at 12 right here, double dot is 12, is that's because that's where the notes start repeating. After you know this area pretty well, you just copy and paste that to this area. For example, I don't think of this note here as the 14th fret. I think of it as the 2nd fret, which is an A here, an octave above, an octave higher than that one. You'll notice that even the dots are the same here. I have the dot on the 3rd fret here, and here on my sort of 2nd, 3rd fret, I've got that same dot. So dots of B flat, dots of B flat. I call this an all notes exercise because we are playing all of a certain set of notes, in this case C major, within a certain region, in this case from frets 0 through 12. You may have seen this before in my other lessons, but here's the trick this time. In order to play all these notes, we're obviously going to have to do some position changes to get from one part of the neck to the other. But we're going to restrict ourselves to using one string at a time to travel up and down the neck. Then we'll do the exercise again using a different string to travel, and so on and so forth. If you're confused at this point, that's okay. Let's go ahead and just start playing this and you'll quickly see what I mean. So again, I'm going to play all my natural notes. I'm going to start from the lowest note that I have available in the key of C. The lowest natural note that I have available is, of course, my low E. And I'm going to play up that E string until I get within the region of my 12th fret. So I'll play the E, I'll play the F, I'll play the G. Okay, I need to do a position change here, that's okay. I'm gonna change again on the E, still playing on the E string. The A natural, the B, the C, doing their change here. I'm gonna play the D and the E. Now I'm gonna go ahead and allow myself the 13th fret when it's reasonable to do so. If I didn't, I would have to reach back here for that F, and then I'm doing position changes kind of back and forth, and that's not really the idea of this exercise. I'm not trying to challenge myself to do sort of silly position changes. I'm going to play my D, E, and F right there. Now at this point, I've run my course. I'm above the 12th fret at or above the 12th fret on my E string. So I've run up the E string playing only natural notes. Now I am going to go ahead and play the rest of the available notes because I haven't hit these strings yet. I'm going to run out this position playing my natural notes here on the other strings. So from F, I go to G, A, then I scoop back here to a B, C, D, E, F, and G. And that's it. That's the end of my range. That's what I plan to do. And musically or otherwise, what goes up must come down, I suppose. So let's go ahead and play back down that same way. So I have G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G. Scooting back over to the 13th fret, F, E, D, position change to C, B, A, position change to D, F, and that's my low E. Okay, so that's the exercise. Now, that's just the first time that I play through this. I'm going to do this 3 more times for a total of 4 times because I have 4 different strings I want to work on. So next time, I'm going to do all my treble on the A string. I'll start on my low E string. I've got my low E, my F, my G, then I go ahead and play the open A to the B, C. Now I'll do my change, D, E, F, change again, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then I play back down that same way. I'll do it again for the D string. And lastly, we're going to do this on the G string. Okay, so that's the exercise. The bad news is it's pretty useless on its own. What? The secret here is not the exercise. The exercise is just a tool to get us to where we want to go. The real secret to fast and meaningful progress on your instrument is not in what you do, but in how you think about it. What we need is to enter a state called deep practice. This is not a concept that I invented. It comes from this book, which is a fantastic read for anyone wanting to learn or do or master pretty much anything. That's right, anything. In fact, I will include a link in the description so that you can pick up a copy on Amazon if you'd like to. I highly recommend it. It's an easy read and it is super, super useful stuff for learning to play an instrument. With deep practice, we want to go through the thing that we are trying to learn, but slowly. The idea is that we have to repetitively fire signals down the correct group of nerve fibers, the group that we want to be available to us when we need them. Think of this as like paving a highway. It needs to be done slowly and carefully. No one wants to drive on a road that was built quickly. We want to travel down the road that was built correctly. The better the road, the more quickly and smoothly we can get where we're going. This analogy transfers perfectly to the way that we learn to play music. We can build these roads in our brains by practicing slowly and deliberately. In this case, we are simply trying to learn notes on the fretboard. So here's what we're going to do. When you play the all notes exercise, say the note name that you are playing, every single one. Let's start with that. Oh, this is so stupid. I don't know why Alex is making me do this. Okay, whatever. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E. There. So that's step 1. We say the note names as we go. But in addition to that, I want you to truly register each of these notes, not just as a string of notes that you are memorizing, but recognizing each one as an individual, as a spot, a unique spot on your fretboard. This work takes place in the mind. Someone watching you practice may just think that you are a little slow or that you have maybe no idea what you're doing. But in actuality, you'll be intensely processing your experience. This is what Daniel Coyle refers to as deep practice in his book, The Talent Code. It looks like not much is happening, but the exact opposite is actually true. I'm going to start the exercise again, but instead of trying to blast through it, I'm going to prove to myself that each note is the note that I'm saying by seeing it in a bigger context. When I do this right now for you, I'm going to let my internal dialogue become external so that you can hear what's going on inside this head of mine. All right, here we go again. Okay. That's an E, it's my open E, I know that. That's an F, I know that one, but it's also just above the E string. That's a G, it's the 3rd fret, I just already know that. The A, well, that's my 5th fret, I know that one too. B, okay, well, that's the 7th fret, I know that one, but it's also a whole step above my A, that makes sense. Okay, C is between the dots, and I knew that already, but it's also a half step above that B there. The D, well, that's a whole step below my double dot there, which is, of course, my E. So D, E is a double dot, that's easy. F is a half step above that E. And the G here, the G, I have trouble with this one. Let's see, it's a whole step below my double dot, my A, the octave of my open A string. So that G makes more sense to me now. The A, of course, that's double dot, that's easy. B, now how is that a B? This is a G, an A, and a B, so the B is a dot, and it's a whole step above the A, which is a whole step above the G. I know that's a G because that's the 5th fret. Okay, so that's a B. This is a C because it's a whole step below that D, double dot, that's easy. Okay, D, E. Well, let's go backwards here. I have the G, whole step back to the F, and a half step back to the E, so the E is also a dot. I gotta remember that. And a half step to the F. Okay, that's also a whole step below the G, which is double dot. That's easy, and the G, of course, is easy. And now I have to go back down. This is how I want you to practice. Slowly and deliberately, carving out the channels of your brain so that you can send the signals instantaneously when you need them. It's not a trick. It's not magic. It's actual work. I know, but this is the fastest way to achieve mastery. You get there faster by going slower. And this is why, as I told you earlier, I'm not going to use any fretboard maps today. I'm not going to use any click tracks with this exercise. There is definitely a place for those things in your learning process, but they have to be used at the right time and in the right way. In this process of slowing down to learn faster, it works for everything that you do. Learning new rhythms or scales or modes or really anything musical, anything non-musical as well. Now, as a treat for you today, I have 2 distinct variations on this exercise that will truly round it out and give your brain the challenge that it needs. For variation 1, we'll simply change the set of notes that we are using. Before, we were using all natural notes or the notes A through G. We can think of that as being from the key of C or the scale of C. Well, we can change the notes by systematically going through the circle of fifths, for example. So using G major as an example, we have E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. Before I had my F here, I'm going to go ahead and get off the 13th fret and move that over to the 9th fret here. That's F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. And we can go through all the keys or scales in this way. The next time you could play through using notes from the key with 2 sharps, and then 3 sharps, etc., all the way to 7 sharps. Then we've done all the sharp keys. Then we can repeat this process with the flat keys, using a key with 1 flat, key with 2 flats, etc., all the way to 7 flats. 7 keys with sharps, 7 keys with flats, plus your key with all naturals. That's a total of 15 keys or 15 distinct sets of notes for you to use to go through this exercise with. And don't forget to use every single string. In variation 2 on this exercise, we will change strings on the way down. This breaks up the pattern that you may start to be relying on and forces you to know the notes just a little bit more securely. This time I'll play the pattern in G major using notes from the key of G major going up the A string, but then I'll come down the D string. E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. And then down the D string, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E. Now before we had 4 possible ways of playing this exercise just with the 1 set of notes. But when you vary the strings going say up the E, down the E, up the E, down the A, you get a total of 16 possible permutations for each set of notes. And if you use all the strings on the guitar, you get 36 possible permutations, but let's just call it 16 for now. You have 15 keys to use, remember, all naturals plus 7 keys with sharps plus 7 keys with flats, and you have 16 permutations to play through with each of these 15 keys. This gives you 240 possible ways to play this exercise just with those 2 variations. Using all those different combinations, that's 1 a day for 8 months. I know, 8 months seems like a lot of practice, but look at where you were 8 months ago. And if you had started then and spent, say, 10 minutes a day on this exercise using deep practice, I can almost guarantee you that you'd know all of your notes today without question. Like I said, it's work, it is, but it works. And that's the beauty of it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and give me your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what variations you can come up with. This is incredibly helpful to me in that it lets me continue to bring you fantastic content right here for free. Love you guys. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you next time here in the studio. If you haven't learned to find your notes yet, start by listening my